Hello, welcome to Musician Coffee House. It's been a hot minute since I've uploaded an episode, and oh my goodness, like I'm already so nervous to be talking because it's been so long. I think it's almost been a year, close to a year since I've been on MIA on here, but I thought I'd do a solo episode just to catch up on what's been going on. And for those who have been keeping up with the Musician Coffee House in the past, or if this is your first time listening, welcome and thanks for joining me for coffee. And so, yeah, as you can see or have read the title, I quit my job. But there's so much more to that's been going on for the past 9 months, actually. Yeah, 9 months with quitting my job, traveling, self-care, therapy, plugging myself into church more, and dating. A lot of new things, just a lot. And it's time for me to share and be active again to this podcast. I want to share with you what's been happening and how I was able to practice what I preach when I quit my job. But first, I moved to a complete different city in Georgia because my roommate and I felt very unsafe in our past neighborhood, it was really interesting because the apartment complex that we used to live in, there's a lot of families and the area was really nice. There was a lot of attractions and entertainments and etc. But then it started getting really sketchy all of a sudden, and I was like, this is not it. So we got to move. So it was very it was very like spontaneous, but thankfully the Lord provided us a home where, my roommate and I are safe, and he's been blessing our home like never before. So I'm very grateful for that. And now the biggest reason why I was on break from podcasting and kind of like a little bit of social media was because I was dealing with a very unhealthy toxic work environment. I never thought that I would experience or go through this in my field, especially. I thought that, like us therapists would, lead into something a bit more healthier, communicate better professionally and etc. But, it's like that everywhere. So that was a huge wake-up call for me. But anyways, yeah, like, I don't think I've shared this before, but I've worked at a behavioral mental health facility, and it was very rewarding to provide music therapy there, but it definitely carries its own challenges. And to be experiencing an unhealthy, toxic work environment on top of that, oof, let me tell you, I really struggled. I'm just gonna be honest, I struggled so much that I've grown so much, like professionally and just my own personal life too. It was a good experience, but it was very unfortunate how it came about. But basically, like, there was a lot of failure in the leadership team, where I was taken for granted or was not valued as much as I was valuing myself in my work profession. And for 9 months, I really tried to make it work, find possible ways to find resolutions, also being professional at the same time, reaching out to other directors, seeking other supervisions and HR and whatever, all like every outlet that I could, use to really move past through this challenge. But then I think what really cut it for me was that I was not only I was getting burnt out, I was so burnt out, but I had nothing else to give because I was so not valued the way how I would want to be appreciated from the company. But also, like, I was burnt out and I have nothing else to give, and it wasn't fair for the patients. And like for the patients, I want to give them the best of everything, everything that I have learned from all these music therapy pioneers in college, like I wanted to contribute and really provide and give all of that resources to them. But because I have nothing else to give, there was no way how I could continue to work in my profession. And so that was a huge wake-up call where I had to just send in my resignation letter. And of course, there was a lot of negotiation, like 15% raise, euro in office, blah, 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 all these great deals, like all these numbers, like sounded super great. Trust me, like I almost wanted to take it, like take the offer. But then I also had to remember, why I do what I do. And number one, like I said, like it wasn't going to be fair for the patient because I have nothing else to give because I was so burnt out. And also, you can't put a price on mental health. My mental health at that point was so corrupted. It was just so poor. It was bad. And I knew that I had to take care of myself. And so I respectfully, turned down the offer and just moved on with my own life to take better care of myself. And it was crazy because at that timing, a friend of mine invited me to their workplace and offered me a temporary job there until, I know when to go back into my field and I'm all better or really have recharge and etc. So that was through the grace of God, like the whole timing. Literally, this is why prayer is just so important. You really have to be careful with what you pray. And so, yeah, you can't put a price on mental health. And I was so burnt out that I couldn't even like move my fingers to even like type on my keyboard to look or apply for other jobs. But luckily my friend came in the clutch with that so that I could have income still coming in. And life is just too short to be working at a company who doesn't value you the way that you value yourself. It's just so not worth it. It's not worth it. And you're probably wondering like, oh, how are you going to support yourself financially, etc. Like I turned in my resignation letter knowing that I did not have that much savings to support myself. But the Lord told me very clearly that He would provide, and that He told me not to be afraid and take that leap of faith. And so I did. And I'm literally living in my prayer right now. So what I have been doing to take care of my mental health is I've been meeting up with friends, having genuine quality time instead of just meeting up with and like showing up with my physical body, but I'm mentally there with them. I am present. And I've been traveling, involving myself into the community, my community church, joining praise team, taking membership class, joining in community groups like Bible study, and it's been just so healing. And I feel I was slowly feeling more of myself, and this is exactly what I needed. I also have been healing from the traumas I've been experiencing at my previous job. And yes, therapists need therapy too. Everyone needs therapy. It's honestly something that we all need. And now, like, I've been also putting myself out there in the dating world. After being single for 4 years, I'm now happily dating someone really, really awesome. So yes, like I said, I'm literally living in my prayer. God is good, you guys. Like, literally, prayer is so important. And I'm really glad that the Lord trained me these past 20 plus years for me to listen to Him a lot more than talking. What I mean by talking is like talking as if I were to talk to like a genie bottle, because before I would pray in a way where like, oh, like I want this, can you make this happen? But more so, like He was training me a lot the past several years to listen more. And so because I listened, I am in my prayer. Ooh, it's just like gives me goosebumps as I'm like literally talking to myself right now. Or I guess I'm talking to you too. But But yeah, and now I'm happy to say that I'm slowly getting ready to get back into the music therapy industry, because I do feel recharged now, but also because I also miss providing what I do, like for a living, or what I'm called to do in my life. One of the biggest one of my calling is to provide music therapy. And I'm really glad that my calling has not changed at all during this new transitional period. So I really thank God for that. In the meantime, I am also ready to be active within the musician coffee house podcast again, to share authentic and inspiring stories with you. So whether if you're a musician or not, it's hard out there. Let's just be real and honest. It's hard out there. We're all in our survival mode, as much as I hate to say that, but we are. It's really hard out there. It's different, it's expensive, it's new, it's challenging, but also it could be very rewarding. But I also want to encourage you these two things. Number one, it's okay to not to be okay. And secondly, you're not alone. We're all in this together, and I hope that you can join with me by, subscribing, following, leaving comments, and Musician Coffee House podcast, and just share about mental health. Yes, mostly I'll be talking about mental health in the music industry, since music industry mental health is very corrupted. So this is why I started this whole podcast. Is to remind you that you're not alone, and that we're in this together, and hopefully, also meeting like great musicians who I invite onto this podcast too. And if this is your first time, feel free to just like read through the description. If you don't want to listen to the whole thing, at least know these amazing musicians who are very sacrificial, super passionate, loves music and want to change the world through music. So they're on here. So just check out their profiles too, because I believe all of their social media accounts are linked. But yeah, this is what my other passion is. Just doing this for part-time or just for fun even. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. And I hope that you'll be able to grab coffee with me for the next episode that will be coming up soon. So yeah, remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to talk to you next time. Bye.